Hello, welcome to Unrest Digest. It's me again. It always will be. And here is my co-host, however, Poppy Dog, who's I don't know why she's tired from our walk or she's sulking for some reason. I can't tell you. Maybe she's seen the energy prices as well. But here's one story that I want to read and talk to you about because I've read something about it before and I didn't quite understand. And maybe there's some more questions to be answered. But I'll read you the headline and then we'll get into the rest of the news. Urgent search for baby as Constance, Marten and Mark Gordon arrested. Right, there's a picture of some police here looking into a water butt. Okay, I was going to ask why, but yeah, I get it. Anyway, from what I saw, they were looking for these two people. One of them was a rich person. The other was, I think he was convicted of, rape or something? 15 odd years ago or something, and they thought that he might not be allowed to. The theory was because of his past convictions, he wouldn't have been allowed to see the child, which I'm not sure if he would or wouldn't, or something along the lines. Or he did something when he was a child, something bad. So they were on the run from the authorities, so say, and they were living in a tent, even though they had money and stuff. It was quite odd. A massive search is on. Now they've found these people. Did they say they've arrested them? Oh, Oh, yeah, they did arrest. Sorry, I should have known that. I did read it. A massive search is underway for a missing baby after a couple, yet Constance Marten and Mark Gordon were found and arrested in Brighton. The baby was thought to be days old when the couple disappeared in January. That's the thing, they were outside. It was freezing cold. People were worrying about the baby. The pair have been arrested by Sussex police on suspicion of child neglect, but their baby has not been found. Officers are scouring an allotment and golf course. Scouring an allotment and golf course on the Sussex Downs in an urgent search involving helicopters, drones, and police dogs. Miss Marten and Gordon, a convicted sex offender, were found after being spotted by a member of the public in the Five Ways area of North Brighton on Monday evening. The pair were heavily clothed for outdoor activity. They were clothed for it, they were clothed. They're heavily clothed for outdoor activity. So so wearing a coat, but I'm indoors. Maybe it's just because it's cold. Maybe they're running away from the energy pills as well. That's not funny, is it? It's not. It's more like self-deprecating humor at this point. Anyway, sorry. I was misreading it a little bit there. They were saying, I've now lost my place. The pair were heavily clothed for outdoor activity. Detective Superintendent Lewis Basford from the Met Police said, we're heading back into an open land area where they were arrested. CCTV shows how search for missing couple unfolded. Maybe we could collect that after. Sorry, I got dry lips. I'm going to do that again. Sorry, I've probably put you off now. Sorry, I'm not professional. Even she's giving me the eye. In a direct appeal to the public, police said the search was now all about the baby. I think it should have been in the first place. They've shortened the words. Detective Superintendent Basford told journalists, we're still in a position where we still hope that the child is safe and well. Well, I'm hoping if they cared about the baby so much, one, they wouldn't have gone off hiding in a tent. But if they were they want to be together with the baby, hopefully they've left the baby with somebody who's able to look after it. But however, the past incidents of them being out in the cold in the first place doesn't give me much hope that these are good people. But I don't know yet, so I'm holding out hope that this is all a big misunderstanding, one of those things, or they were just trying to do right by their child. Oh, maybe something horrific happened. I really hope not. Police do not rule out this. I've gone way over again. But he raised concerns about the child being exposed to the elements and said the search was now against the clock. Temperatures are expected to plummet to 1 degree overnight in the Brighton area. It has been quite cold recently. Police did not rule out that someone could be harbouring the baby, though they said this was unlikely. I thought she had connections and she had money. I was hoping that she'd have some kind of like off-grid nanny. That sounds like a really bad name for a sitcom. Yeah, they said, yeah, unlikely. That's not good. The couple had been travelling across England by taxi for weeks, apparently evading police after the car broke down near Bolton, Greater Manchester, on the 5th of January. The arrest location was close to open land and the couple were moving towards the land. We know they travel long distances. So depths up, correct? We're just calling him Basford from now on. My plea to the members of public here in Brighton and crossing over towards New Haven is to please be vigilant. Miss Marten's father, Napier Marten, expressed his immense relief that his daughter had been found. Yeah, this was the father, I believe, of the rich lady. She'd fled him, and apparently they were contacting law enforcement, and they were trying to sort of egg on the search to find their own daughter. People were saying, well, clearly they don't want to be found, and maybe there's other issues going on behind the scenes we don't know about. But I just hope everyone's all right. Police cars, tempered by the very alarming news, her baby has yet to be found, he told The Independent. So his grandchild, we don't know boy or girl yet. Police cars were seen landing the northern tip of Stanmer Villas, sandwiched between Hollingbury Golf Course and Rodale Valley allotments, where officers are refocusing their search. This is quite a highly residential neighbourhood on the northern edge of Brighton. Residents in the houses facing the allotments have been following the search from their balconies. Okay, they've been watching the police. Okay, right. Keen to be abreast of any significant developments. Okay. More than 200 officers have been deployed to Sussex as part of the investigation, police said, offering significant resources, specialist capabilities, local knowledge and peer support. Why don't they just call in the helicopters and the dogs, spend another week looking for this child, and then the baby's probably going to get found by one of those psychic people again, like what happened in the Nicola Bully case. It's just embarrassing. Sorry, that's a bit random, but it's just another police search. They seem to never find it. They could this time. I hope they do. Oh, excuse me. Miss Marten and her partner left their home in Eltham, southeast London, in September after she showed signs of pregnancy. This is what I'm saying. The car broke down on the M61 near Bolton, 61, and was found burning on 5th of January. Jesus. After which the couple travelled in quick succession to Liverpool, Essex, and London. That's a bit odd. Maybe did they torch the car? That's really odd. CCTV footage shows them apparently trying to hide their faces from cameras. They are thought to be carrying a large amount of cash and to be using camping equipment to live off-grid, police said. When they first disappeared, police said they were concerned that the couple seemed to be constantly moving and awake for at least a few days, which must be especially draining on someone who had recently given birth with no medical attention. Yeah, this is really odd. I feel like something's being hidden from us here, or sorry, not being revealed to us. They also said there was no evidence that Miss Marten or the baby had been assessed by medical professionals since the child's birth. At the end of January, detectives offered a £10,000 reward for information leading to the couple's whereabouts. I wish he'd said something about that to me last month. Miss Marten, 35, is from a wealthy family and had a privileged upbringing, attending private school and living in a stately home in Dorset. Oh, how nice. Police said she became estranged from her family after meeting Gordon while a drama student in 2016. That doesn't read very well, I'm sorry. Gordon, a registered sex offender, was deported to Britain from the United States in 2010 after spending 20 years in prison for rape he committed aged 14. What an odd thing to happen. So let's reread that again. Was deported to Britain from the United States. Okay, so was he a British national? He spent 20 years in prison for a rape he committed aged 14. I'm not giving my personal opinions on that, but I didn't think you'd normally spend that long in prison for rape. Maybe in the US, but especially at the age of 14. I mean, if it was against a child, then I can understand. But still, so he was 20. That was 20 years ago. You know, I need to read more about his personal case before I make any judgments. But if he had spent 20 years, maybe there is more about it, then I don't think he should then be barred from having his own child. I mean, unless there was something against the child. Okay, there's nothing else here. But there is more on the story. This is from the 18th of January. This is BBC News now. I forgot which news article I clicked on earlier. The father of a newborn baby who police want to trace his registered sex offender, US police records reveal. The baby has been missing since the parents' car broke down a court file. Yeah, I read that. Since the constant Toots, Marten and Mark Gordon, what name, appeared to have been avoiding police. Martin's 35, known to a friend as Toots. Okay, nickname. Stately home. Okay, her house was used in a film, wasn't it? She had privileged upbringing. Yep, blah blah blah. Okay, Gordon, whom she met in 2016, has been a registered sex offender in the UK since 2010, having been convicted in Florida of rape he committed age 14. Maybe this makes sense as to why he can't flee the country, because he would have a criminal record. But I don't know how it translates to the UK if he was then released here. Definitely, obviously can't return to the US. He served some 20 years in prison in the United States before being deported to Britain. That's all they're saying. I was hoping for a little bit more on that, to be honest. It's odd. Can't really make a judgment on this. I don't know who to root for. Okay. That sounds really bad. No, that's not what I meant. Do I support the police or the convicted sex offender? No, but I see, like, a guy doing something at age 14, he was a child himself. Obviously, I'm not saying that absolves him of any responsibility. But serving 20 years in prison, I don't know, it's a tough one. It is a tough one, but if he's been successfully rehabilitated, and possibly, he does look a bit seedy, but I don't know. It's just odd. I don't know how I feel about it. But he should be allowed to have his own child. I'm sorry. Maybe if you want to stick social services on them, fair enough. Maybe that makes some sense. Let them monitor the whole situation. I can understand that, maybe. If he's a convicted sex offender, yeah. Maybe they just didn't want the aggro from social services. But I believe there's got to be something else going on. But I will keep you updated if I hear anything, if I see anything in the news. There's big words here saying slush fund. They're using a lot of cash. Spending hundreds of pounds in fares a couple of days. We're travelling around a lot though. Taxi drivers report hearing the baby in their cabs. The last time they were spotted was a day on CCTV near Eastern Underground Station. We want to find this child. That's a overriding aim. I don't think coming out and saying they were here is going to help you find them. It's just going to mean they're going to get as far away from where they were spotted as possible. But I don't think there's much more on this at the minute. I will have another look and I'll update you if I find anything. But I will definitely keep you updated. Thank you very much. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.